And welcome to Of the People. More importantly, welcome to Super Tuesday. Let's cut through it all. Trump wins Super Tuesday. Race is over. But what this is really about, and people should understand on Super Tuesday, is not only is all politics local, all voting happens at the local level. At least they haven't been successful in nationalizing it yet. So all of this against the backdrop this week that all voting is local, and we want as many people to vote as possible. But you now have, earlier this week, Attorney General Merrick Garland was down in Selma, Alabama for the, I believe it's 59th anniversary of Black Sunday. And for those of you who don't know your history, if you don't know your history, you're probably not listening to this podcast. But for those of you who don't know your history, that was when law enforcement basically attacked civil rights protesters in Selma, Alabama. It's called Bloody Sunday. But the problem is they are rolling out the same old tropes, and you know how I love to read things to everybody. So Merrick Garland down in Selma, Alabama, and this is all about voter ID and voting rights, says the following, that anyone who certain measures such as voter ID laws and redistricting makes it much harder for millions of eligible voters to vote and to elect representatives of their choice. Such measures threaten the foundation of our system of government. What crap, right? Because it's the same old trope. As we learned with the Georgia law in 2021, it actually increased voter turnout. But we're going to put something up for you right now. Here are all the things that you as Americans have to show ID for in order to get anywhere. You have to have an ID if you want to get into the hospital. You have to have an ID if you want to sign a mortgage. You have to have an ID if you want to get married and or you have to have an ID if you want to get a birth certificate. You have to have an ID if you want to buy a firearm. Let's put that back up again. I want people to see this, right? You have to have IDs for all these things, but you don't have to have a voter ID or an ID to vote. The most sacred responsibility, because the trope is, oh, they're threatening democracy, right? Which is, we want all people to vote. And yes, we do, but we want all legal people to vote. With the influx of illegal immigrants into this country, the massive influx, Arizona just passed a law that you have to show proof of citizenship to vote. Democrats challenged it in court, and the federal judge just says, no, that's not an unreasonable burden. What I really want to know, and what I think everybody here is, why is it always about discrimination? And why isn't it about getting it right? Because isn't it more important, or at least as important, that we get the vote count right? Because free and fair elections depends on getting the vote count right, and most importantly, people having confidence that their vote was counted. So you see all of this stuff going on, and the question for America is, which is more important to you, right? But there is some good news, as I said, the Georgia voter law, the Arizona voter law, and I want to end this on a little more good news. There are things that are really positive happening in this country, and in all places, in New Jersey, where there has been, under the radar, certainly not reported, a Republican wave happening in the blue state of New Jersey, and nobody's talking about it, which will get really interesting in the 2025 election. Later on, we're going to have County Commissioner Joe Cilio with us. Stay tuned for that. With that, Erica, come on back in and save me from myself.
Hello, Robert. Great.
Hello, great Erica.
Monologue. Oh my! Can we look on that? Can we look at that list again? Is it okay?
Sure,
if I
bring
bring that up?
Bring it up.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at this, and I started to laugh because we talk about this all the time, right? The voter ID stuff, and or this is a topic of conversation pretty regularly. That you don't need it to vote, which is super important, but you need it for dumb stuff like buying cold medicine.
Right.
Okay. I got ID'd to buy a can of spray paint at Home Depot.
Well, because they think you're going to inhale it, right? By the way, you know what's next? Wait. You know what's next? No. You know what's next? I was joking. But they are going to actually, you're going to now have to show ID to buy whipped cream. You know why?
Oh, because of Whippets.
Because the Whippets in the can. Oh my! I'm kidding, folks, but I mean that's.
Oh, I'm like, wait, what? Are you serious? Here's the thing. I believed you. Like you were saying that like it was a joke, but I full on believed that you were serious.
That's because you trust me. It's your first mistake.
Oh my God. No, it's because these people are so stupid. I would not put it past them. Just like Bloomberg said you couldn't have a soda over 12 ounces or
Right.
whatever it was, you know? Like,
Serious note on you know what's really scary? So
What?
Merrick Garland in that interview after they were down in Selma said that we think that this is so important. Quote, we are doubling the amount of lawyers at the Department of Justice in the Civil Rights Division for voter rights. So folks, not only you're getting 87 or 81,000 more IRS agents to make sure you're paying your money to keep feeding the beast, you're
my
now
God,
going to
now
have
there's-
double the amount. Well, but think about it. Isn't that what we need? More lawyers.
yes, more going after the average regular Joe, regular American, just trying to live their life. It is, oh my God, it is so stupid. The worst part about it, Robert, which this is one of those, are they stupid or are they evil kind of a thing.
They're not stupid. Let's take stupid off the table, because if you assume that they're stupid, they win. They're not stupid. This is by
true.
design. And
I
before
mean,
you
it
say
is-
two things. Think about where their priorities are. Their priorities are make sure you pay money to the government so we can continue to give it away to our constituents, meaning the Democrat, teachers
Right.
unions, all that stuff. And we want to make sure that free and fair elections, everyone votes without any checks on are you legally entitled to vote. And now we're now bringing in millions upon millions of illegal immigrants into the country, and there's no way to know whether or not they're voting or not.
Yeah.
Get the idea?
This is the proof that these people are unserious and really ultimately, they're kind of racists. They're kind of bigots.
Oh, no.
And prejudiced.
We're racist. We're white nationalists, or at least we're white, which makes us white
pretty
nationalists.
sure. See, this is the thing. I feel like now, okay, I'm going to set this up for you, Robert. Okay, you ready?
Ding, ding, ding.
This is the question. Who's the racist? Is it the person who believes that black people and brown people, not white people, okay? Is it the person who believes that not white people are fully capable of getting to the DMV and getting an ID? Or is it the people who say that they're too dumb to figure out how to get, and too dumb and too poor to figure out how to get to the DMV and get an ID? Which one of those people is the racist?
Actually, I was always taught to answer a question with a question. I learned that at Futurecraft way back in the day, and that was for you, Joe. But basically, first of all, you have to define what is racism these days, because they've redefined it. Don't answer that question. Here's the real issue. All of these people who don't have to show voter IDs have to have an ID, because they couldn't do all these other things to function in society without an ID. So they clearly have an ID, but they don't want to be forced to show an ID because that allows for monkey business in games. And as the Georgia Voting Rights Act, or whatever the law was called in 2021 shows, it actually increased voter turnout. It didn't suppress it. So, but why should we let facts matter? Facts don't matter.
That's because feelings don't matter. Don't care about your facts. Wait, what is it wait, did I do it right? The Ben Shapiro quote? I wanted to do it opposite. Feelings don't care about your facts.
Oh, you mean facts don't care about your feelings?
Yeah. Except I said it the wrong way, because they don't care, because they're dumb.
All right.
They're not dumb.
Listen,
they're evil and terrible. Moving on.
So
Go ahead,
I do want to
Robert.
segue, because there is some good news. So folks, joining us is Commissioner Director Joe Cilio of Cumberland County, New Jersey. There is something going on in New Jersey where a lot of the counties are now at the county government level, and we've always argued that all politics is local. There's some really positive things happening in New Jersey, which I know people here in New Jersey, they roll their eyes and go, "What?" So is Joe joining us? Let's bring him into the feed.
All right, Joe. You are live with us.
Commissioner Cilio, welcome to Of the People. Full disclosure, we go back a gazillion years, but welcome to Of the People. So happy to have you joining us to talk about what's going on in Cumberland County and what's going on in New Jersey, Mr. Commissioner.
Well, it's very good to see you first, Robert. We've been old friends for a very long time, and this is a much appreciated interview that I think South Jersey and most of North Jersey is going to appreciate when they see this. And thank you, Erica, too, for being so gentle with me. Much
You are
appreciated.
so welcome. No problem, Commissioner.
So what's going on what's going on in Cumberland County? Let's give us, because most of what we focus on is national, but really over time we've come to see, Eric and I, that all politics is not only local, but that's where you can make an impact. And correct me if I'm wrong, Cumberland County was a Democratic stronghold for 40 years, 50 years,
correct.
and now it's not. So take us back. What happened and how and why? Because that's the important stuff.
Well, basically what occurred was back in 2014, 2015, we had a change of Republican county chairman to Michael Testa Jr. And Michael Testa Jr., it's a very well-known name down in southern New Jersey, in Vineland, New Jersey especially. His grandfather was a judge, a lawyer, established his own firm, and also was the first mayor of Vineland, New Jersey, after it split up from Lennisville. After that, the sons, both Michael and Joe Testa, have become lawyers as well. So it's a well-known family within the area. But more importantly, they're a very political family. They are truly Republicans to every sense of the word. Mike,
Well, you mean their values.
their values, absolutely. Their values are through and through conservatism. And Michael Testa Jr.'s father and I are very friendly. We've been friends for many years. And he saw my passion to run for an office. So years back, I ran for city council in '92. I did lose, but short margin, but I still lost. But then later on, I became a committee member, and for several years. And then I said to Michael's
Wait, you were a
father,
committee member. Did you win an election? How?
I became a committee member through election. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think what people want to, I think as much as this is a success story, I think people want to know, how'd you do it? So there was an election, you get elected, you get bumped up, but let's talk about county commissioner level, because that's really where the power is, correct?
That's where I was going. When after I became a committee member and just getting involved in the wards and the day-to-day, nuts and bolts of things, I said to Mr. Testa, I said, Mike, I said, I think I should run for something else. And at the time in 2019, 2020, it was very hard to get anybody to run against the Democrats. And at that
Sounds
time,
familiar.
yeah, Michael Testa Jr. really put the special sauce and the recipe together to how to break through the Democratic Party and start getting people to either change over and vote Republican. So basically, it was grassroots. It started with door knocking, hitting neighborhoods that were never hit before, that had possibilities of changing from blue to red or independence just not coming out. You have to build excitement. And this excitement came from seeing something different. The Democrat Party was in power for 40 years. We
Wow.
have one year, there was a couple of Republicans within this time frame that were voted in commissioners, and it was always a stalemate with them. I think in the county as well, the constituents got tired of having the life sucked out of them. Cumberland County is the most economically depressed county within the state. They're treated like a stepchild almost, in the sense, from the county. They'd like to see our shoreline from the rest of North Jersey just wash away and go away. Well, we're not going away. So what we did is we had myself, well, first of all, I'll talk about Doug Albrecht. Doug Albrecht was the first Republican to get elected in 2019. But unfortunately, there was other 6 commissioners that were a stumbling block for him. They kept him from. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. So 2019, the first Republican was elected, and now all the way. So fast forward only 3 years, you went from a fully Democratic commission to a fully Republican commission.
That is
that
correct.
right?
That is correct.
I mean, that's correct. Now, was it like a couple people a year, or did it go from that one person you just mentioned to the whole kit and caboodle
No, it
in
went
one
from
election?
It went from one person, Doug, who was a hardworking guy who had knocked on plenty of doors and messaged out to a lot of people. The following year, Tony Romero and myself. Tony Romero is Cuban American, and we ran and we knocked on doors in neighborhoods that wasn't even considered Republican. We switched over. We were out. Basically, registrations were outnumbered by 16,000 voters to Republican voters. So we had
What's
16,
the joke?
Yes.
What's the
yes, sir.
population of Cumberland County?
About 160,000.
Got it. Just to try to give the listeners a sort of a perspective.
Percentage, yes.
So here's my question. I understand what you're saying is that one of the reasons you guys were successful is because you went door to door and you sort of went back to the old way of doing politics, which is belly to belly. But I guess what I'm curious about is, that gives you their ear. But what were the issues? What were the secret sauce, if you will, as you referenced? What were the issues that they cared about that said, "Hey, I'm tired of the old guys. I want the new guys"?
Good
Well, I
question.
think that was part of it. Again, I'll go back to Mr. Testa, Senator Testa as well, is that they saw a slight change come about when Doug Albrecht became commissioner. So that blood was in the water, and we saw.
We like to call that a beachhead. That you had a beachhead. We don't want to talk about blood here, but okay. Can we talk about a beachhead? It's like the D-Day landing. We just want a foot on the beach.
Okay, well, we were on the beach. But what was very interesting is that they knew that there was people that were dissatisfied what was happening, and I'll get to those major points in a moment. But I just want to bring out that part of Senator Testa's notoriety also helps. He was very well known within Cumberland County, Cape May County, Atlantic County, and Salem County. His district, LD1, basically encompassed quite a bit of those counties themselves. So that was one, basically, coattail that we could ride on. Two was there were several issues which you want me to get to. One is the jail. The Cumberland County Jail, there was supposed to be a new jail built back in 2019, and it never happened. The Democrats they took a bond out for $52 million. I'm rounding it off.
Oh, I love it.
$16 million was already put into action, put a slab down into a piece of property, and they cut the strings after spending $16 million. I ran on that, Tony and I ran on that major issue because basically it's a parking lot now for nobody.
So it's
So
fiscal irresponsibility. Go ahead, Erica. I'm sorry.
You know that you literally took the words out of my mouth. So basically, they're behaving poorly. They're costing taxpayers millions of dollars. And I'm just remembering you said it's an economically depressed area. So if they're already economically depressed and then you just waste $16 million, that's probably not going to bode well for you in an election.
And it was very helpful for us to win the election. There was also a second issue, which was the utility authority for Cumberland County, that the Democrats were looking to monetize that particular utility authority, which was actually a cash cow for the county.
Wait. What does monetize mean? Privatize?
They wanted to privatize it, correct?
They wanted to take a public utility, so more money in their pocket. Basically, we want to make this a private enterprise. We want to give it to somebody, one of our power brokers, our economic power brokers, a stalwart of the Democrats, so we can siphon off more money. Is that a stretch?
That's not a stretch at all. Not a stretch at all.
Interesting.
And again, that was another issue that we ran again. Again, fiscally irresponsible. We've seen this time and time again. There was one other issue that really was important, is that we had many contracts for the county that were going unsigned, unnegotiated, and even going into their second form of years into another contract years where they were not bothering to settle the contracts. Again,
wow.
what we came in now
You
within
mean
a year
like a
and a half.
no-bid contract? Like a no-bid contract?
These were union contracts.
Oh, follow the money. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And they
Okay.
were not making it. We were losing employees, and then of course the other issue was because they stopped building a jail, and there was talk of tearing down this jail and sending our inmates to other places. Now other unions were getting upset, thinking they were going to lose their jobs. It was a real debacle what was going on prior to us getting in.
And I imagine usually, even if it's just a county lockup, jails employ a lot of people and they keep your place safe. It also makes sure that if people are in trouble, they get to stay in their community rather than being shipped off to another state where they never get to see, or maybe across the state where they never get to see their friends or family and maybe just get worse while they're locked up.
And Erica, that's exactly what was happening. Robert would understand. We're still shipping inmates up to Hudson County from Cumberland County, which is a 2-hour slot.
And Hudson County is like Jersey City, right? You're way up north.
Yes, exactly.
So so it was a combination of things. It was like people were really unhappy. You had someone who you could count on with name recognition to kind of boost everybody. You really dug into the pain points of your community. Is there anything else, like, I don't know, Jesus or like something that or was it just really hard work? I mean, it sounds like you guys just really worked hard.
There was a gentleman named Joe Kondo. He was the last Republican director of Camden County several years ago. And he came on board and started showing us figures and numbers on how to penetrate the market down here to the voters, the 4-4s, the 2-4s, and get them out and vote for something that really matters. Again, what you said earlier, Robert, was the local level is what's important.
That's right. School boards, commissioners. You know what I'm hearing, Joe, is that obviously we talk about all politics being local, but here's an example in Cumberland County where, I'm hearing breadbasket issues, right? I'm hearing pocketbook issues. I'm hearing, affordability issues, and I'm hearing fiscal accountability issues. So the Republicans now control the Cumberland County Commission, correct?
Correct.
What policies have you put in place? In other words, so the voters have given you a chance now. Okay, we trust you as the Republicans based on these values, and these guys didn't deliver. What are you doing to make sure that you're delivering what you promised to the voters?
Well, there's several things. Also, by the way, before we get into that, is that we also this year elected the 3 new candidates as commissioners. So we have brand new. That made us the 7-0 board. We also voted in the surrogate Republican, which is not, it's bipartisan, but he was a Republican, and we also have a Republican sheriff now. So not only did we sweep 7-0 on that respect, but we also have a surrogate and a sheriff now of Republican background. And the only other office that's left is the county clerk. And that's, we're looking, yes, and we're going after
Who's
that.
Next?
Next.
Do you
exactly.
have somebody lined up for that position that you're going to be
One of
running?
our commissioners, yes, one of our commissioners will be running against the Democrat Party's incumbent at this point in time.
Excellent.
So that's another one we're doing. But to go back to Robert's point of view on what we've done, well, we've settled 5 contracts out of 6. We've raised the salary levels of these particular contracts, starting wages, because we were losing people to surrounding counties. Our sheriff's department's been settled in 2 respects, 2 different union contracts. We're working on the UAW. We're working on the CWA. We've settled several other contracts in the midst. Now, also, we are working on what was given to us, which was a 4-3 vote, was what they call broadband. I don't know if anybody's heard this terminology.
Rural broadband is a big deal.
Right.
In Vermont,
It allows-
New Hampshire,
it-
too.
Right, and in the Midwest. So keep going. We got it.
All right, so we were basically administered a grant of $24 million between Cumberland and Salem County. And we're working on that project now. The problem is that we don't want to be, again, have over expenditures on this particular project.
Wait, Joe, let me interrupt you. You're a politician and you want to stay within your budget?
Yes, sir.
What?
I'm shocked. Wait a minute.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
clearly this guy needs to get voted out of office. Okay.
Exactly.
What is the matter with you?
Right. So here you have a
Wait,
politician
here's
who
my
actually
wallet.
wants to live within
Here's
their
my
means.
wallet.
That's exactly right, guys. Live within your means.
Speaking of living within your means, we're going to take a quick break to give a shout out to the radio stations. Y'all, if you're watching live on the socials or listening to the podcast, we are also on the radio Thursday mornings in New Hampshire. So we're going to give a shout out to our radio station and to our...
WNTK.
That's right. And to our generous supporters over at the American Center for Education and Knowledge.
Hi, I'm Robert Chernin,
And I'm Erica Reddick.
and we are Of the People. You can find us on Rumble. You can find me on Twitter at RB Chernin, and
And I am at Erica Reddick.
look us up. You'll be entertained.
That we guarantee.
Absolutely. She's never wrong.
Ever. Just ask my husband.
America came into being based on a shared belief and a common set of values. Unlike other nations that were bound together based on common ancestry, race, or caste, we came into being based on a simple and shared set of ideals. That the power of government is based on the consent of the governed. That life, the freedom to live life on our own terms in our own way, free from government interference, and liberty, our most precious value, and the pursuit of happiness, which means we are free to pursue that which we choose with the knowledge and courage to know that nothing is guaranteed to us in this life. Those values, America was founded on these basic inalienable rights. Freedom to pray to God in our own way. Freedom to think and speak freely without fear of punishment or harm. And freedom to gather in our places of worship and in our local taverns. And freedom to defend ourselves, our families, our homes, and our neighbors as we see fit. The American Center for Education and Knowledge is dedicated to protecting American exceptionalism anywhere and everywhere it is threatened. ASIC is a 501c3 and depends on your tax-deductible donations. Please help us continue our fight.
And we are back with Commissioner Director Joe Cilio of Cumberland County, New Jersey.
Welcome back. So, Joe, I have a question because I did have to pick myself up off the floor because as a politician, to hear someone want to live within their budget and means is welcome news, but shocking because most, the only thing worse, trying to wean a politician from overspending, in my opinion, is worse than trying to wean, a heroin addict off of, their addiction. Because when it's OPM, right, other people's money, most politicians go, oh, yeah, we can spend more. And what we try to tell people is the government cannot spend any money that they don't first take from someone else. So there is a stewardship aspect that you're spending other people's money. But I want to take this to a broader perspective because, we talked before the show and as people know, we have a long-standing relationship, but there's not just Cumberland County, right? Let's talk about the state of New Jersey a little bit. And maybe you can give our listeners perspective because is there a red wave? Because what I'm hearing is that a lot of the county levels are going red. Now there's some, Camden, the cities, Newark, different. But what else is going on around New Jersey? Because I think not only you want a beachhead and give people hope, but it seems like New Jersey's moving the other way a little bit. Almost elected a Republican governor last cycle, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
As you can probably tell, if you look at the map of New Jersey and picture it like a thermometer, you're seeing the bottom of the thermometer, how it's always red. Cape May has always been a Republican county. Atlantic County has been somewhat purple, somewhat blue, somewhat red. It's gone fully red now. You have Ocean County, which is also red, Monmouth County. As you go up the east coast of New Jersey, Then you have Salem County, which turned Republican several years ago. They saw the light, as they say. And then if you move further up into Gloucester, was turning red. There was 2 Republicans voted in on the last election. One did lose, so there's a back and forth situation going on there. There is a strong Democrat party there now.
Let me ask you though, how many people? Oh, we got the IDs up. How many people, Joe? I'm sorry. How many counties are there in New Jersey? Just to sort of frame
There's
it. There's
21.
Of those 21 counties, how many are Republican controlled?
I would say out of the 21, probably close to, and I'm guessing off the top of my head, 12 to 14.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
like
over
half.
Correct.
And I guess my question is, how much? I mean, there's one thing when a county is historically Republican, and there are certain counties, like again, I don't know the history of, let's say, Monmouth County, where there's red bank and that kind of thing. But I guess since 2018 and 19, when this wave started in Cumberland County, how many counties? And again, I'm not going to hold you to the exact numbers, but are there counties that are moving red? And if so, are they the same kind of issues that move Cumberland County, or are they different issues?
They have
Good
different
question.
issues. They have different issues. You have much more wealthier counties like Hunterdon, Warren County, which is on the west side. They're strictly Republican as well. Somerset County, where Jack Ciattarelli is from, is more purple. It was all red at one time. You probably remember that, Robert, because I think you're from that area, if not mistaken, Bridgewater. correct?
Not only am I from that area, I went to high school with Jack Ciattarelli.
There you go.
Okay, haven't spoken to him in a million years, but I know he's running for governor in 2025. So
Yes, he is.
maybe you can reconnect him to us, and we'll have him on the show when the time is right. But yes, I know Somerset County quite well.
That's right.
So I'm curious because I'm looking at the precinct map and I'm listening to you talk. And so is New Jersey like a lot of states? Like if you look at the California precinct map as an example, the entire state of California is red except for LA, San Francisco, Sacramento, the major metropolitan areas. Do you think that New Jersey is similar in that way? That there's
Very much
actually
so.
probably, it almost sounds like they're like the Republicans or the conservatives or the not crazies, as I call them, are just starting to come out of the woodwork.
Your counties that are closer to New York, Essex, Hudson, Middlesex, Union County, they're the ones that are strictly Democrat. Those 4 are the big ones. When you get outside of those areas, then you see more conservatism. They're more densely populated in the cities, and you have more diversity in those cities. But then on the other hand, Cumberland County is the most diverse county in the state of New Jersey,
Oh,
which is interesting. And we still
kidding.
flipped. We still flipped. When Tony and I ran and won, we won by 4,000 votes, even though we were outnumbered in our registrations by almost 16,000.
What's the percentage? What does 4,000? How many votes were cast?
And at the time, that was a gubernatorial election, so that was higher. I'd say we were in the 20,000, 25,000 mark, which was still a low
wow.
turnout.
But
So
you won by
crushed
4,000.
them.
Wow.
Close to 4,000.
that's like 25%.
Yes, we did.
Wow.
And again, that was also Senator Testa was running at the time as well. So not only did we have his name recognition, but we also had Tony, who was our first Cuban and Hispanic commissioner, voted in, which shows that the Republican Party is not the old saying, white, male, and pale. We have a very diverse county, and we also have a very diverse Republican commission. If you look at Senator Testa's 2 running mates on the Assembly, you have Eric Simonson from Cape May County, but you also have Antoine McClellan from Ocean City area, who is one of the first black assemblymen to be voted in as well. He's now the minority whip.
Well, remember
wait a minute.
though,
Wait a minute. If you're black and you're Republican, right?
You're not black.
You're not black, or
That's
you're an
right,
Uncle
that's
Tom
right.
or something. Because
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The minute a person of color, runs and or wins as a Republican, they're a token this or they're an Uncle Tom that, or they have to be marginalized because it runs contrary to the Democratic narrative. Joe?
I've never seen as much of a gentleman as I have with Antoine McClellan. He's a perfect gentleman, and I think that his merit and his demeanor and his personality goes a long way. I don't care if he's purple, red, blue, or even black. He's a good man.
Well, you should let him know he's not black anymore.
Exactly.
See, you don't
right.
actually have a diverse commission, because if you are successful or a Republican, you're
All
white.
right. I got it. Yeah.
Sorry,
And you're
Joe.
a ra- and
Hate
you-
to
and you're
crush
a
your dreams here.
And you're a racist, right? I mean, we're all racist now. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we got
Yeah,
viruses
same
in our
cold.
brain, remember?
you know, I think the connecting dots to all of this is the word meritocracy, right? And I rail about this all the time, Joe, which is I don't care if you're red, pink, purple, blue, green, fat, thin, tall, ugly. I don't care. I want the best person, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of, frankly, political persuasion. I don't know about you, but if someone's building a bridge I got to drive over, I want the best engineer. If someone's operating on me, I want the best doctor.
Right.
Do we really care that, oh, well, you know, we want the best person, but they have to be black, or they have to be pink, or they have to be white, or they have to be, I mean, the racial lens that has been foisted upon this country, Joe, in states, you know, that are diverse is I think the antithesis of meritocracy. And I think the competency issue is one of the reasons it sounds like you guys won in Cumberland County. Just my opinion, of course.
Can I say one more thing? You brought up a very good thing about diversity. I'm not a fan of the DEI proponents in this country right now, because if you reverse the letters, it'll be DIE, and that's what's going to happen to this country if we keep doing what we're doing. Because I would prefer a pilot on an airplane to know how to fly the plane as opposed to having whatever type of ethnic background they have. And I don't care what ethnic background, but he better be pretty good, because I want to get 2 feet back on the ground. And this is how I hire people.
That's exactly right. Do I want a pilot who cares about what kind of genitalia I have, or do I care about the pilot's genitalia, or do I care about their competency?
Only if it can fly.
That's another subject that you really want to get involved with the Vineland Board of Education, because they just voted down to repeal, to amend rather. I think it was HR 5626, which basically was the Parents' Bill of Rights, and about
They voted it down.
they voted it down, which now put them into jeopardy with the AG in the state of New Jersey, because they don't want to have parents not being told what's going on in the classroom.
Good for them.
Yes, so that's another subject matter, and there was a big board meeting of that particular. That was a few weeks back, and a lot of people turned out to say, "Hell no, you guys must go."
So I want you to tell everyone in Cumberland County, whenever the Board of Eds, whenever you hear DEI, it doesn't really stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI stands for division, right?
Exclusion.
Exclusion and intolerance.
That's right.
That's right.
Right? It's division, exclusion, and intolerance, and this crap. Am I allowed to say crap, Erica?
You are. Crap is
Thank-
not a bad word.
Okay, because being from New Jersey and this D's, Dems, and Does sometimes comes down to me. So when I'm talking to a Lonsman like Joe here, where we grew up sort of in the same way, you know, my inner Tony Soprano starts to come out. Is all I can tell you. So, but
Forget about it. Forget about it.
Forget about it. So, Joe, I want to segue because there's such great things happening in New Jersey, and like I said, you know, we're going to continue to cover this with you, and maybe we can bring some other people in, especially so our listeners understand. I know this is Super Tuesday. I know everything is focused on not only Super Tuesday, but November 2024. But in 2025, there are two gubernatorial elections in the country, and an off-year election. One is Virginia, one is New Jersey. So there's a lot that's going to be focused on New Jersey after the political junkies get past, Trump winning in 2024, right?
Can I make
But
one plug?
Let's talk.
Can I make
You
one
can.
plug? All right.
You can make
here it
two
is.
plugs, three
All right,
plugs.
I'll take two plugs. Number one is that in 2020, excuse me, not in 2020. Yes, in 2020, when the Murphy was voted back in, if there were 650,000 Republicans in the state of New Jersey that did not vote, if only 10% of those people voted, then we'd have a new mayor, we would have a new governor, Jack Ciattarelli. This coming election in 2024, where we have a presidential election, we have a senatorial election, we have Menendez now on the ballot, which is now we call him Gold Bar Menendez.
Exactly.
We have a gentleman by the name of Curtis Bashaw. He is a Cape May County resident. He is the owner of the Congressman Inn. He's an excellent gentleman, has the means to run for state senator. United States Senator.
U.S. Senator.
United States Senator, my apologies. And he's a true down-to-earth conservative. During COVID, he fought Governor Murphy. I should say Director Murphy, because that's what he thinks he is. Or King Murphy, as a couple other people say. That he wrote a letter to the governor to basically say, why are we staying shut down in COVID when you're running around walking with people face to face, and yet I've got to shut my hotel down and not even operate. It made no sense to anybody, and he fought that tooth and nail. And he makes good sense, this gentleman. Curtis Bashaw. He's for United States Senator out of New Jersey. Please.
Good.
Thank you.
So we are glad to give him that plug and glad to give him that help. I don't look. Let's talk about Senator Menendez, right? Gold Bar Bob is, I think, what you should call him.
Yeah.
And not Gold. Gold Bar Bob sounds so much better and more accurate than
Yes.
Gold Bar Menendez, don't you think? But on a serious note, if you look up the definition of political graft, they've got Menendez's picture right next to it. Sort of reminds me of the old mayor of Jersey City, who shall remain nameless, right? But if you go back to the early, the days of Jersey City in, late 1990s, 2000. But Menendez is part of the Democratic machine, Joe, is he not?
Absolutely.
So the likelihood is he gets, look, he may go to jail, but he'll be reelected. If the machine works and people stay home, like you said, he's going to get reelected. Maybe go to jail later. But let's talk about the Democrat machine in New Jersey, because that's really what you're fighting against. It's like Tammany Hall Redux, as far as I can tell.
Well, there is quite a bit of a machine there. We have the Norcross machine that works very well, has its claws in a lot of different things. We have a previous Senator Sweeney, who I know. I've had a couple of conversations with him very, very briefly. Senator Testa knows him well because of being in the state Senate along with him. He's probably going to run for governor this year. And that's going to be an interesting fight between Jack Ciattarelli and Mr. Sweeney. But the machine itself, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just talking about the machine because, and again, as people know, I'm from New Jersey originally, and truth be told is you can take the boy out of New Jersey, but you really can't take New Jersey out of the boy, right?
No,
So
you can't.
it's one of those things. But it really is the machine. So I live up in New Hampshire, which is sort of, along with Vermont, one of the real bastions of retail politicking. I would say the New Hampshire voters, and I'm not comparing them to New Jersey, just giving you a contrast, very well-informed voters, very politically involved. They like to sort of kick the tires. That's why we are first in the nation in presidential primaries. But there is a party structure, but there is no machine on the same level. And what I'm trying to elicit from you without getting you in trouble is, trying to give the listeners some sort of understanding. When you use the word political machine, what's that really mean? Because it's bussing people in, it's paying this, so without getting yourself in trouble, Joe, explain the machine.
I got you. Well, here's the thing: that political machine is a fine-tuned machine in the Democratic Party. But what you're seeing now is the Republicans starting to basically embrace what the Democrats have done over the last few years. We have had major messaging. Our texting program that, again, the senator has installed in all our phones. We're using also different types of applications in your phones and in computers to start going after the voters and get them out. It's basically to embrace also early voting. Early voting is a very, very good mechanism to get people out, because remember, the Democrats always start early. They have maybe 200,000 votes in the bag already, even before the election day. We have embraced that tremendously. We are seeing now it turn after the last election this past between the three commissioners and the surrogate and the sheriff, how much we surpassed the Democrats. I think they're starting to throw in the towel. I think they're seeing a losing battle come across, and I think they really realize that the Republicans are on the rise, because we're starting to embrace their methods, their methodology, and how to go after people. Now, there are some things that they're doing that are not up and up. It's hard to prove these things. I want to be very careful with this particular subject matter. But if there's one thing that Republicans have to realize, if you don't go out and vote, your vote doesn't count either way. And that's the most important thing, because at least you get a chance to count. Where if you don't go, you can't be apathetic to the situation. This is your life. And this particular election now for presidency, the next 4 years, I'm telling you right now, this country will not be what it is that you think you have today. It'll be nothing but a small sliver of what it was today compared 4 years from now.
That is an excellent point. Commissioner Director Joe Cilio, thank you so much for joining us here today on Of the People. You guys go check out more about the commissioner. You can go to Cumberland County NJ, as in NewJersey.gov. Find his page, Joseph-Cilio. Learn more about the commissioners. And I would just venture, I'm offering this up, Commissioner, that they should holler at you. They should call you if they're interested in running for office, if they want to participate, if they want to volunteer. What is the best way to get in touch with you and your team or whoever to get them started and get them bring them into the fold?
Well, there's a couple of ones. You can get a hold of the Cumberland County Real Republican organization, or you can get a regular organization, or you can get involved by calling Cumberland County office, the administration office. They'll direct you directly to me. On every one of my business cards is also my county cell phone, and I answer the phone.
Excellent.
That's the one way. If not, the liaisons for the county are also your commissioners. And there's also ambassadors that we actually put in place too this year, which actually speak to each township. There's 14 townships or municipalities in Cumberland County, and each county commissioner is assigned to that county and will answer your questions. And
I
also
love it.
All the help we could use. Believe me, we're looking to make Cumberland County great again.
I love it. And thank you for answering all of our questions. We are going to hear a little bit from somebody who also wants to help prevent a new civil war in this country.
From conservative commentator and contributor to Breitbart News, The American Spectator, The Jerusalem Post, The New Civil War, Exposing Elites, Fighting Utopian Leftism, and Restoring America, Bruce D. Abramson brings a transformative exploration into how progressivism has poisoned America. Featuring a foreword by President Trump's former strategist, Sebastian Gorka, Ph.D., The New Civil War will open your eyes to the left's incendiary agenda and how patriotic Americans can fight back. We're living through a national trauma. The United States has jettisoned the rule of law and ceased functioning as a republic. Battle lines have been drawn. Progressives are moving quickly to cement their transformation of the country's beliefs, attitudes, values, social structures, economic models, and government organizations. Patriotic Americans are waking up to recognize that conservatism failed to conserve much of anything. Progressives control academia, media, the civil service, and several of our country's most important industries. The new Civil War is not a call for war. It is a recognition that war has been declared on us. Our sacred love of liberty is under attack. Unless we defend it, the America we love may be lost. This book is for every patriotic American eager to defeat the utopian left and restore America. Joel Pollack, conservative journalist. Americans face a bizarre new political landscape. A supposedly moderate president who ran on promises of unity is pursuing a radical left-wing agenda. These challenges call for principled, effective opposition. The new Civil War will help start a conversation about how to push back. Harmeet Dillon, civil rights lawyer. As a lawyer who defends the victims of progressivism every day, I have looked into the eyes of the thought police. The new Civil War provides the wake-up call America needs and serves as a self-defense manual for patriotic Americans. Get your copy of The New Civil War today.
Hey everybody, Erica Reddick, the other half of The People. Come check me out over on Generally Irritable. That's where you'll find me on all the socials. I got Erica Reddick on Twitter. We're not just covering news and politics, but we also cover culture and how those things relate to one another. So come check it out. You can also go to generallyirritable.com and learn more about me and the show.
Are you tired of seeing your rights stripped away by the politicians in Washington who don't care about you or me? Do you feel like you're a red dot alone in a sea of blue, disconnected? Well, it's time to get connected. The American Center for Education and Knowledge is fighting back to defend American exceptionalism. Go to acecfund.org to learn more and get connected. That's ACEKFUND.org. Do it now.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
You guys, we need a new commercial for our big brain Bruce. Bruce, the big brain, for his new book.
Which is,
So
let's plug his book real quick. You have it? The
Oh
Great
my gosh,
Awakening.
Hold on. I'll
Pull it up. New book on Amazon, anywhere else you can find him. Dr. Bruce Abramson's new book, A Great Awakening, or, there you go, American Spirit or Great Awakening. Right?
Dun, dun, dun.
And I spoke to several people, actually, Erica, who listened to our interview with him. And really, they got the big brain thing, and they really liked what he had to say. So we'll have him back on. But Commissioner Cilio, my old friend, thank you for coming on. I know you're not here, but if you're listening, great things happening in New Jersey. But,
Amen. Amen.
Right. So Erica,
Robert.
do you remember last week we were talking about, and folks are going to screw up this name, but Heidi Przybyla. She was the MSNBC reporter who basically said that, oh my God, Christian nationalists you believe that their rights come from God and they're a cult, right? And
Yes,
so
because she
she's
can't
now
read the Declaration of Independence.
Well, how did you know that was where I was going?
Oh no, I didn't mean to step on your punchline there.
Oh man,
Dang
no, okay. We're going to go somewhere else, and then we're going to come back to that. But so she was defiant in her first response that they're misquoting me. I mean, we're all misquoted, or the only thing she didn't say is they're going after me because I'm a black woman in power because she's not black, right? So
like Miss Tiffany, no,
like Miss Tiffany, whatever her name is from Dolton, Doltsville, whatever that place.
Yes.
So. Then, after getting a rash of crap online, she then really walks it back. So here's what she now says, right? And she now says the following. Reporters have a responsibility to use words and convey meaning with precision, and I am sorry I fell short on my appearance. To state the obvious, this is not... the above is not a good definition of Christian nationalism. Many people have views about our rights as Americans that would coincide with those of many of the nation's founders. In my full remarks, I noted that many other individuals and groups on all sides of the political equation have cited natural law, including Martin Luther King, civil rights. But of course, the question of policies and rights and values can be ascribed to natural law is in the eye of the beholder. I just sit there and go, so Erica, come back in, right? The thing is, does she not? So how are you? I mean, first of all, how is this woman even on the air, right?
I don't even-
because I mean, this is not. Hey, it's not such a simple argument, but they make it like they don't understand the founding documents. So again, to read this for people, this is really simple.
I
The
gotta
preamble, right? Endowed by your creator.
Yeah.
But so here.
Yeah.
When in the
I don't-
course of human
I gotta
events,
tell
it-
you, I gotta just tell you though, Robert. I honestly, I
Go.
did not understand what you just read. I don't know what word salad that I don't know what that word salad was supposed
Fair
to
enough.
convey, but it
Fair
but
enough.
it didn't. Go ahead.
Well, basic. No, that's fine. It's fine. I mean, look, the word salad really is that different people have different interpretations of God and religion, and therefore, it's again, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, and therefore, it's again, it is that whole word salad nonsense. But I want to read one thing, and then we're going to have to take this after hours.
Yeah.
There are 4 references to God in the Declaration of Independence, and in the opening it says it references the laws of nature and nature's God. I mean, we're not even done with the first sentence. And it's the laws, forget about endowed by their creator, which is, in the preamble, right? But
Yeah.
laws of nature and nature's God. So what part of this, Ms. Prisbila, I don't, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your name, but properly, no disrespect, at least on that aspect intended. But what part of this don't you understand? It's not in its, look, different people practice their religions differently and their faiths differently, and that's fine. But to make a categoric statement like that, especially about a group that you're now going to marginalize and vilify as the new MAGA, which is what they're going to
That's
do
right.
with this term Christian
That's right.
nationalist. Natural law and God's law are the same thing. They come from the same place. They're connected. What don't you understand, Heidi?
Well, and that's what natural law. You don't even have to believe in God to believe in natural law.
Apparently you
we
do.
can-
Apparently,
we
according
can
to her, you do.
What about the law of gravity? The law of, you know what I mean? There's all these things in nature that whether you believe in God or not are real, they're structural and whatever. So you could just say, just for being born a human, like that sentence could be rewritten, just for being born a human being, this is what you get.
Makes me crazy.
And yeah, she's, that's another one of those, are you dumb or are you evil? But I think
she's not dumb, and I don't think she's dumb, and I don't think she's evil. I think she cannot step away from her political bias, and it permeates everything she does, including how she sees life, and she cannot be objective. Let's remember, they're talking, so what she's really talking about is let's be tolerant, right, of other people who believe differently than you. And for a Democrat,
oh wait, but she didn't want to believe. But we're in a cult.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
No, she literally said not to have respect for people with it. We're cultists.
no, this is the walk back. The walk back is we have to be respectful of people who believed it. That was the last
wow.
sentence, right?
Oh,
the
wow.
last sentence of what she said was,
Yep. Yeah,
but
you're
of
right.
course, the question of which policies and rights and values can be ascribed to natural law is in the eye of the beholder. So she's preaching tolerance, yet these are the Democrats, by the way, or the
Nonsense.
Democrat, who, if they don't like a channel on TV, they want to ban it as opposed to turn the channel. If they don't like what they're saying, they're going to cancel you and make sure you lose your job. So it's the
That's
height
right.
of hypocrisy for these woke liberal journalists to preach now tolerance when they get called out for their own intolerance. and we are going to leave it on that note, folks. We got to
love it.
go.
Yes. So hang on with us. We're gonna stay for a little open dialogue on the platforms that allow us free speech. So right now we're closing out Facebook, we're closing out YouTube and Instagram. We're going to be just on Rumble and Twitter. So if you're watching now on any of those other platforms, come on over to Rumble or Twitter and watch the rest of the show. Most importantly, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And come back and see us next week.
Y'all.
Stop.